Dear I'm Ren and welcome to this tasting of Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars is a game where we're going to terraform the red planet because everything is destroyed on Earth, there is overpopulation, so we need urgently to go elsewhere, and we decided to go to Mars. Principle is very simple, it's a cooperative game. It's not a cooperative game, but we need to go together to achieve three goals to get to the end of the game. The first one being that we need to get to a temperature of 8 degrees, starting from minus 30 degrees Celsius. The second one being we need to have at least a percentage of 14% of oxygen in the atmosphere. And the third one is we need to place 9 tiles, ocean tiles, on the planet because we need enough water to allow life to come on the planet. Once all those three goals are achieved collectively, all the players can help to reach the goals. The game ends, we finish the round, and then we calculate the victory points and we decide who wins. Base of the game is very simple. At each round, it's a game played with cards. You start by giving 4 cards to each player. The player can decide, each player can decide if he wants to buy some cards or not. So it's between 0 and 4. You pay 3 million per card. It's really up to you. But obviously, and you start with 10 cards, it allows you to really have different strategies in the game because you're not limited by only having 1 or 2 or 3 cards in your hands and then decide what you need to do only due to the cards you have in your hands. Once the players have decided if they buy or not the cards, we've got the action phase. Action phase, you've got different actions which are possible, and each player can play as many actions as he wants, 1 or 2 actions at his turn, knowing that if you play 2 actions, of course, you can do very interesting things by doing 2 actions which are linked together and allow you to get an extra bonus or to progress in your production on your personal map. Now, different actions. First one is to play a card. You just pay the cost on the top left, and then you get the bonus or something from the card, and potentially at the end, in this case, victory points, and then you get some token allowing you to get some bonuses or to facilitate the buy of other cards. So that's one, play a card. Second action possible is to use a standard project. You just pay the cost here on the left, and then you get the bonus on the right. So you can sell cards to get the equivalent amount in money. You can pay 11 to increase your production of electricity. You can pay 14 to help raise the temperature. 18 to put an ocean on the planet. Pay 23 to place a forest on the planet, and 25 to place a city on the planet. That's the second action which is possible. The third one is to use an action card. What is an action card? It's an action, a card that you played before, you paid for it, and then you get an action that is possible only for you. You see there is a red arrow, that means that it's an action you can do once per round, only you and not the other players. So you can use this action card. A third possible action is on your personal map. You can use and pay 8 plants. Here, each round you produce 3 plants. Once you got at least 8, you can transform 8 plants into a forest and place the forest on the map. Knowing that each time you place a forest, you increase the percentage of oxygen by 1, and you get 1 terraforming point. Terraforming points, they give you money at each round, and they give you some victory points at the end. Fifth action possible is to use 5 energy units and transform them into 1 temperature point. So you raise the temperature by 1 from one level. And the same as for the oxygen, you raise by 1 as well your terraforming points. Two last possible action. The first one is to claim a milestone. What is a milestone? Is simply a goal, milestone that you reach. Once you reach it, you can just pay 8, and there are only 3 milestones possible for the whole game, meaning that here those 2, for example, were not possible because the first 3 were used. And you just pay 8, if you have, of course, here 35 terraforming points, and you get 5 points at the end. Okay, here you need to have at least 3 cities on the map. Here 3 forests. Here 8 in your production at home, and here 16 cards in your hand. Last action possible, get an award. Same principle, to get it you need to pay. Small difference being here that the first award costs only 8, second one 14, third 20. And here you have no guarantee to get the points because you actually bet on the end of the game. By getting an award, you say here, I want to have the banker award, so I want to have a count at the end of the game to see who has the most production of money, and the one having the most production will get 5 victory points, the second one 2. But it's not necessarily the same player as the one who actually paid for the award. So if I'm the blue, if I pay 8 and at the end I'm only the third one in terms of money production, I'll get 0. So here it's more like a bet for the end of the game, and of course you can do it earlier or later. Once the 3 objectives are reached, collective objectives, we just finish the round and calculate the points. What are the points? You've got the points of the terraforming actions here. You've got points on your cards. You can have here 2 points, 1 point. Some cards give 1 point per each symbol, for example. You can have, of course, the milestone points, so 5 points for each one. 5 or 2 points for the awards. And last but not least, on the map, you'll get 1 point per forest that is owned by you, and 1 point per forest which is adjacent to your city. And it doesn't need to be your forest. So in this case, blue, for example, will have 2 points for those 2 forests, but for his city here, he got 3 points, even though he didn't place this one, the red did. But that doesn't matter. You just add all the points, and at the end, obviously, like always, the one having the most victory points wins the game. In all, great game. Obviously, a little bit of luck because you've got the cards. So drawing the cards can mean that if you're really unlucky, you're limited in your actions. But you start with 10 cards and you get 4 extra cards to buy, potentially, at each round. So for me it's quite limited. Length is very correct for that kind of game with some depth. There is some meat into it. We played our first game in 2 hours 30 minutes. So I think that in less than 2 hours you can do it without any problem once you know the game. And I'm pretty sure that there is a lot of replayability because there are many different things to do and you've got many different cards. So in all, very nice game, and enjoy it.